Hi everyone! So I am going to be showing you today how to achieve this look that I have right now. It's kind of like a summery corally sunset color. So if you're interested in achieving this makeup look I have on right now, go ahead and keep watching and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, because I have, of course, oily skin and I want my makeup to stay on, because today I'm going to be outdoors a lot, I'm going to apply a primer, and I am using Mr. Matte, and that is by Givenchy. But I take about a pea-sized amount and just dot that, a lot of it on my forehead, because that's where I get the most oiliness, different areas around my T-zone, nose, and just anywhere I feel like my pores are a little bit big, and then I just kind of rub it in as needed. So the next thing I'm going to do is apply my foundation. So I use the Revlon Colorstay, and I use it in Rich Tan. So I just like to dot this on my face. I just use my finger and stippling brush, and this one I just got from Sephora. It is the Pro Stippling number 44, and just buff that into my skin. I'm going to use my eye primer, and I use the MAC Paint Pot, and it's in the color Soft Ochre, or Ochre, however you say it. So I just dot that on with my finger. So this is just going to give me a nice base for my eyeshadows that I'm going to be using. It's going to make them stay on all day, and it's going to make the colors more vibrant. So while that sets, I'm going to go ahead and move on to my eyebrows. If you watched my eyebrow tutorial, which was my first video, you've probably already seen this part. So now that the brows are done, we can go ahead and move on to the eyeshadow. I'm going to do kind of a soft look with a little bit of color, very summery. So first thing I'm going to use is this MAC eyeshadow, and I don't know if it's picking up the right color, but it is in Hot Paprika. So I'm going to use this first, and I'm using just a Sonia Kashuk eyeshadow brush to the crease and a little bit to the outer corner, and on the other side same thing. So to go over the Hot Paprika, I'm going to be using the MAC Pigment in the color Rose. It is a MAC 249 brush, and just patting that in to the pigment, and I'm just going over the Hot Paprika in the crease, just tapping that on. This is a makeup look I've been using a lot this summer because it's just kind of easy and it looks somewhat natural but still has some color to it, because I really like using color, but I just feel like during the summer it's hot and I don't want to spend a lot of time doing my makeup, and then on top of it I just feel like it's just too much makeup on my face if I use a lot of too much color. The next thing I'm going to be using is another MAC pigment, and it is in the color Melon. Do not try and do this in the car. You'll get it absolutely everywhere because it's so loosely packed. So just going for this kind of sunrise effect. So the next thing I'm going to do is apply a highlight color. And the highlight color that I've been using a lot is actually not, well, I guess you could use it for whatever you want, but it's the Mary Luminizer. I'm also going to use this as a highlighter on my cheekbones, but I find it puts a really nice sheen here under my eyebrow and then also on my inner corner. So for that, I'm going to use a fluffy brush. So I'm just going to kind of spread that out, get close to your brow because it kind of lifts your whole face up when you have that highlight under your eye. So now that I have everything on my eyebrow or my eyelids, I'm going to use a blending brush. My favorite blending brush is a MAC 217 brush. This, I would say, if you don't buy any other brush, is the one that you should buy. But the 217 brush, it's good because it's kind of densely packed, but not too densely packed. And so now that all the colors are blended into each other, I kind of like to blur it even more by using another blender brush. And it's another MAC brush. It's a 224 brush. And so this is really fluffy. And this just kind of adds to the blending because I don't really think it's possible to blend too much when it comes to makeup because you just don't want any harsh lines. You kind of want each color, at least in this look, to kind of blend into each other and give that kind of sunset effect. And then I'm going to add the Mary Luminizer again to my inner corner. So just add that on. I am using a Sephora brush. It's the rounded smudge brush in 12, just to get into my inner corner, just to kind of brighten the eye. It really does help you look more awake. So just get it kind of in this area here and then blend it up into the other colors on the lid. And then get the 217 brush again and buff that in. Okay, so you can kind of see how the eyes look. Me, Makeup Forever 5 palette, and it's in number 2. And I use my finger for this because it's kind of a stiff concealer, so if you use a brush it doesn't soften enough to use under your eyes. So I use this color here and I just kind of dab that on under my eye. And again, using my ring finger. Can't say that I recommend this concealer yet because I've only been using it for a little bit and I don't know how I feel about it. So while the concealer is settling, I'm going to go ahead and curl my eyelashes and then put on some eyeliner. So the next thing I'm going to apply is my eyeliner, and I am using the Super Fat marker, and this is by NYX. And then wing it out. You don't have to if you don't want to, but that's just the look that I generally like. So then I'm going to apply some mascara. And right now I am using up the rest of my Big Fatty, and that's from Urban Decay. And the brush is a big fluffy brush. I don't know if you can see the bristles on it. And I like this because it seems like it works well with my lashes. The brush, I will say, is hard to get used to because it's so big. And when I first used it, I went in to do just what I would normally do with mascara, and I got it all over my eyelid. So it's definitely something to practice with because it's not always easy if you're not used to the really large brushes, and even now I still get it on my eyelid. So then I'm going to top that off with a little bit of L'Oreal's Telescopic. I like this. I've tried it by itself and it does make your eyelashes long, but it doesn't give you the thickness that I would like. So this just kind of adds to the Big Fatty and makes it to where your lashes are a lot longer. If you already have thick lashes, this might be actually perfect. It kind of has a weird, I don't know if you can see that brush. It's really small, so it's also good for getting into tight areas, but I just kind of run that along the tips of my lashes just to add a little bit of length. Okay, so going back in with the Telescopic, and then I will move on to the cheeks and the rest of the face. So the next thing I'm going to do is to apply my Tarte Smooth Operator, and this is in bronze. They do have one that's, both of them are translucent. This one's translucent even though it doesn't look like it. I'm sure if you have lighter skin, it would probably work better as a bronzer, but because I'm so tan right now from the summer, I'm using this because it goes on pretty sheer, and I didn't want to have the white cast from using the white version. It does get a little bit messy, and that's the one thing I don't like about this, is that it's really hard to get out of the packaging. So I'm hoping with enough effort I can get this plastic piece off and then just gently start dabbing it loosely, but haven't been able to pry it off. So I'm just using a fluffy blush brush to apply this. I wouldn't use a densely packed one because then it does kind of pack on the color a little too much. And this is a MAC 129. It's rubbed off. I've had it forever. I do like the way this works because it makes my skin really smooth and it keeps me oil free for a long time. But again, it's really hard to get out of the packaging. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, it's going on pretty sheer on me, but I think it's actually meant to be more of a bronzer. So you can kind of tell when you have enough on because it'll stick to the foundation at first, and then as you're kind of buffing it on with the brush, it starts feeling really, really smooth, and that's when you know you've really gotten enough product on there. But the clay in this really absorbs on my skin, which I really like. It really makes the makeup stay on longer. I can't just wear foundation because I get so oily. And I did forget to mention my Revlon Colorstay is in the combination to oily skin. They also have a dry skin one as well. I actually like to use this. I used to actually use by itself, but I've been wanting a little more coverage. I've been wanting a little more flawless look, but it's the Pure 4-in-1 pressed mineral, and it has SPF 15. And what I do like to use this for, because that Amazonian clay is just so loose, I like to use this for under my eyes to kind of set the concealer. So I just kind of buff my mineral buffing brush in and put it under my eyes. And a little bit other places. I am using this really pretty MAC blush in Dollymix. It's a Sheertone Shimmer blush. I found because my skin is darker, I can use these brighter blushes and not have it go on too strong. A little too much blush on this side, so I'm just going to buff it. And I'm using the same brush, I keep trying to say blush, same brush that I used for applying the face powder. So I'm just get a little bit up in this area to warm it up. And then back to my Mirror Luminizer, which I am obsessed with because you can use it for so many things. It's from theBalm, and they don't sell that in my area, so I had to order it off of Look. So I'm just dotting this on the tops of my cheeks. I try and keep it to the tops of my cheekbones because if I get it in these areas here, some people like to highlight this area, but if I put it there, because I'm shiny as it is, once my makeup starts sticking on for a while, it makes it even more obvious. But I do like to dot it a little above my eyebrows, just a little bit, just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and use a big fluffy brush, and this one is by Sonia Kashuk. I have no idea which one it is because I've had it, again, forever. I am not one to buy a lot of makeup brushes. I like to work with what I have. I put entirely too much highlighter up here. And I didn't actually used to use any makeup brushes, but they are, I can't even emphasize enough how much of a difference it makes. So I am using Colorstay Balm. This is by L'Oreal, and it's a really pretty corally-ish pinky color, and this is in number 418, Caring Coral. I just put this on so I have something on my lips. As you can see, it doesn't really it doesn't really color my lips too much. It's more of a my lip color but better kind of color. So that's it for my look today, and if you have any suggestions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment below, and I will give all the products I used in the description bar. And that's about it, so I'll see you next time. Bye!